this is the kind of thing we did. I had done a show with Arthur Godfrey at Wickiwashi Springs in Florida. Wickiwashi Springs is a big, deep hole in the ground filled with crystal clear water, beautiful, a grotto. And they had built a glass viewing room. You could look out into this absolutely crystal clear pool of water from 30 feet below surface. And they had girls, pretty girls, who could swim around and take a breath out of a tube of air and stay down there a long time. Brief bathing suits and girls swimming, nice piece. Well, I had done that show, and the PR guy from that outfit called me and said, "Listen, Charlie, I'm in real trouble. I gotta get some time on television. I don't care how much. I just got to, or they're going to fire me. I haven't been able to produce. Can you help me out?" And I said, "Well, Dan, I can't just have you." He said, "No, I'll do anything. I'll bring the girls up." And I said, "Well, just girls? We got girls here in New York. Who cares?" He said, "But these can breathe underwater." And I said, "Well, if I don't have any water, what are you going to do?" And I said, "All right, I tell you. You bring up a tank full of water big enough so one girl can swim around, turn, and do, and I'll think of something for her to do when you get here." So he said, "You got it." Well, by God, he got a huge tank of water as big as this is. And we had to have when we started to fill it with water, we had to have the floor braced. We were on the 4th floor. And it was beginning to get out of hand. And now, what the hell's the girl going to do? And then I had the most brilliant idea in all of television. The weather was the dullest spot on a dull show because we didn't have any fancy equipment or anything. And Dick Van Dyke used to have to read the weather. You know, it's snowing in Alaska, big deal. So I called the guy and I said, "I want the map of the United States painted in outline, just a big black outline of the map of the United States on the outside of the tank. And I want a speaker up against the side so the girl can hear what we're saying. And I wanted to have a grease pencil." So, and we, told her exactly what we wanted. Dick would say, "There's a low over Mexico City." The girl would swim up to Mexico City and draw a circle, and he'd say, "There's a high in Denver," and the girl with her cheeks puffed out, sucking on a tube, would circle Denver, and that was the weather report. Well, it was the only thing that attracted any public attention at all. Apparently, people stumbled on it, and so it lasted a week, and the girl got waterlogged or something, and we had to dump her. But it was a huge success, talking about classy television. The other thing that worked out really well, to show how in those early days, the stuff you could get away with that amused the public. A lady came up one day with her daughter. They were from Michigan someplace. And her daughter had just won the girls' junior championship in archery at the tryout for the Olympics, something that really didn't amount to much. And she really wanted to be on the program to give her daughter some publicity. Well, at the same time, the girl was getting waterlogged, and we had to dump her for the next week. So I said, "Bring her in, and we'll think of something to do." So I ordered some bales of hay and put them at one end of the studio, and we had a big canvas map of the states painted and hung on the bales of hay. And Dick Van Dyke would say, "There's a low in Denver," and the girl would go, zoom, and the arrow would go the length of the studio and right into Denver, man. She never missed. And "There's a high in Miami Beach." Bingo, away she'd go. Well, she did that for 3 or 4 days, And then that began to wear out. Now, where do you go? Where I went was, we found a logger. They were in some big timber convention of some kind. And the guy could throw a double-bladed axe 20 feet into a target. So we had him up in front of the map. And there's a high in Poughkeepsie. Right into Poughkeepsie, the guy would throw it. Well, we used him. We had an Indian who could throw tomahawks. He threw those. We had a guy who could throw knives, but his wife had to stand there so he could come close to her. So she'd stand next to Denver, and he'd throw knives into Denver.